Alright, I'm going to keep on trucking with this craft show stuff. If you watched any of my other videos, which if you did, I appreciate it. But did a couple of Fabergé eggs, one with a hatchable, one with just gold. It had some kind of wood in the bottom of it, just threw some gold flake into it. So I made up some new blanks. Just different things, just trying new things. This one's got green, 3 different colors of green metallic flake in it. So it's got some air holes in the bottom of it. Don't pay attention to the man band-aid. So got one like that. Figured making wine stoppers and stuff. I made a bigger blank. Probably gonna try to make it into a wine stopper. Don't know how it's gonna work. It's made out of corks. Truly don't know how well that cork is gonna cut. I've never attempted it. So we'll give it a whirl. And I got one that whenever you cast with resins, epoxies, you want to make sure the wood is sealed. And I'll show you why. If you can see in there, the wood was absorbing the epoxy as it cured, which makes it look like a ton of air bubbles. I'm going to attempt to turn it, but I got a funny feeling that when I start to turn that, it's just going to shatter and just chip away. It's not going to be worth anything once it's all said and done. And then to go off of that hatchable that I did the first one of, if you were watching, I made another one. Except this time I put, obviously, pink alcohol ink into it to dye the cylinder. And I threw some beads in the bottom of it so it looks like it's coming up out of the beads. Don't know how that one will work. But then I like the golden egg the best. So I said, well, let's try it with, I had a bunch, 5, 6, 7 pen blanks that were all the same. So I took 2 or 3 of them, chopped them up into pieces, just random lengths, and I cast them into a form. It's real hard to see with the lighting. Let me take you over to the lathe, turn on my light. Yeah, there you go. Now yeah, maybe you can see it better. It doesn't look better on the camera. But we'll try turning that one. See what that looks like. If you guys watch the videos, leave me a comment, tell me which one you'd like to see first. I'll try to pop it up there. This video is probably gonna go, I'm gonna say probably Saturday morning. So I've got a project on hand right now that I'm gonna try. Pole Barn Productions did a wicked video on epoxy, and just if you get a chance, I'll put a link in the description. Go check it out. It's called the Aurora Lights or Aurora Summit, I think it is. But he pretty much took a canvas, spray painted it, made it look like mountains, then used clear epoxy and multiple different epoxies to make it look like the Aurora Lights. And when he got done with it, it looked pretty cool. So I decided that shoot him a message, ask him if I could try to duplicate it. Don't want to match it 100%. This is a one-off. I want to make mine a one-off. So I picked up a pack of 2. More than likely there's going to be a fail, but we're going to put you up in the stand over there, and I'm going to cover up my flag that I got going. That'll be in another video, and lay down some paper and see if we can duplicate it. The culprit of the man band-aid. So first coat is just going to be a mist, and then I'll let that dry overnight, maybe even get it tonight. But I'll mist it, then I'll put the tape on, cut the tape out, make it look like the mountains. Then I'll paint the top half all black and add some white speckles to it to make it look like the stars, and then we'll go from there. So this area here will be the mountains. I'll put the tape across. Once I put the tape across, I'll have it cut out like the mountains, and this upper half will all be black. That's going to be the sky side. So we'll let that dry for a little bit, and then we'll come back to it. Alright, threw it out in the sun while I was cutting the mountains out. So I'm going to get the mountains peeled off the plywood, bring it over, we'll set it in place, and we'll get the black laid down. Try to make sure all the points are down. Alright. Hit it with the same black again. So now to give it the effect of the natural light coming over the mountains, and just dust it lightly with some white. All I'm using, Rust-Oleum satin. That's all the colors I got. Ooh, if I can get the lid off it. Instead of the yellow and I think he used yellow and blue, I think. I'm not 100% sure. I'm gonna try these two colors. I got that's what we got so far. So we'll let this dry overnight, and tomorrow I'll come out and mix up some epoxy. It should be a little bit warmer. Gotta love North Carolina. And I'll get it mixed up, and I'll record the rest of it, and we'll let it cure overnight, and hopefully Friday morning I'll get this, well, it'll be Friday night, but by the time I get home from work, get a video made, get a post up, let you guys see it, and get your feedback. Till tomorrow. Alright, so that's what we're working with. Try to get the light off of it. So, I mean, the mountains are visible, but when I add the little Bob Ross touches, it'll definitely highlight them a little bit more. Alright, so it's the next day, got everything dried. Gonna do the epoxy now and the colorants. So had to get some goodies to make it pouring it a lot easier. If I can get them out of here. So I got these cups. A lot of the guys that do the epoxy use these. It allows you to pop the cured epoxy out once it's done. Lets you reuse it instead of using cups. So picked up one of these from the good old Home Depot. And I got some plastic cups to mix my colorants in. Sticks to mix it with. And then I've got all my colorants pretty much right there. Go around the other side of the table and we'll get the color that I want to use picked out. Alright, so flipping through the colors, trying to find something that would light this, kind of light the sky up, so to speak, so, and match what I've got there. So let's take a look. So that color right there, thinking the cherry color, the green, I was thinking probably the teal, and then add a little color. We're going to do some white, the white, pure white, and then I want to really do a blue in it, so I might do the blue diamond, just add 4 colors to it. So that's pretty much everything. Got the 4 colors, mixing cup, containers, got a torch, hair dryer. The epoxy that I use, it's a crystal clear epoxy resin. If it's spread thin, it'll set up in, I want to say maybe 20 minutes, but I don't handle it for a good solid 8 to 9 hours. May handle it later tonight just to finish up the video, put it together, and get it posted up on YouTube for you guys. So I'm gonna shut you off. The other thing before I do is that when Doug poured the canvas, it's got a lot of flex to it. So when he poured his on one of his other ones, I guess it, by the way he talks, it bellied it in, created a real thick puddle, and he says it didn't look right. So I'm gonna cut down a piece of plywood probably to fit in the backside, put a couple screws in it so it's elevated off the table, and then that way I can pour my resin. So I'll get things squared away and then we'll come back. Alright, so one thing I'm going to try, I'm going to put some wax paper on top of the piece of plywood between the canvas, hoping it doesn't allow it to stick. Took a piece of plywood, put 4 screws in it. That way it's elevated up off the bed, my workbench. So then take that, lay it on there, put this on top, and see now it's nice and solid. So now I'm going to take our mixing jug, and it's pretty much a 1-to-1 ratio for this epoxy. So once I add the 2 together, just a nice slow steady mix, 7 minutes, 7 to 8 minutes. Make sure it's all mixed, and I'm gonna pause the video for that. I'll mix it up and then we'll return from then. Alright, so got that mix, letting the air bubbles rise for a little bit because I really agitated it. So I got my 4 cups all set. I got my blue in that one, the teal in that one, got the cherry in that one, and I got the white in that one. So I'm going to add a little bit of epoxy to each of those cups, let it set. I'll spread the epoxy across the painting, get it smoothed out the best I can. Then I'll add my coloring, grab the hair dryer, spread it out, get it to do the effect that I want, And then I'll hit it real quick with a torch just to get rid of air bubbles on the surface. Let it cure, and once it's cured, we'll come back and we'll get a good picture of it. Now let it cure and see how it looks. All right, so temperature cooled off in the garage. So he said to bring it inside and let it finish curing for the night. Let it cure overnight. It should harden up, no problems at all. I'll go ahead and get a still photo of it, put it up at the end of the video, let you see it. But God, thank you for watching, and maybe in the comments, leave me a suggestion. That's the next project. It's a sneak peek. I've got a full video coming for it. Let me know if I should paint the white stripes or if I should burn them and then put it all together. I'm gonna probably put epoxy over the top of it, just give it a nice smooth clear coat finish. Something that's hard. Maybe do a black frame around it just to highlight the flag. But again, thanks for watching. Remember, hit the like button, subscribe, greatly appreciate it. Have a good night.